Hi, I'm Chris, welcome back to FRAG-MENTAL, thank you for joining me. Are you wondering which are the manliest man fragrances a man can wear? Well, you're in luck because Fragrantica users have voted. Here is what they think are the best manly man fragrances ever. Well, since 2020. I was quite amused to see that this is a new category in the Fragrantica Awards, the Best Manly Man Fragrances. I kind of think they're having a little bit of fun with that, and rightly so. Perfumes are there to be enjoyed. But just what is a manly man fragrance? What constitutes a fragrance that makes a man even manlier? I'm pretty sure that everyone will have a slightly different interpretation of that, but these are the ones people voted for, so let's see what we've got. All right, at number 10 is an interesting one because I think that this is a pretty unisex type of fragrance. From Emporio Armani, Stronger With You, absolutely. This is a sweet, woody chestnut scent with a lovely bit of rum. In my opinion, this doesn't smell terribly uber masculine, but I guess it's quite manly. I don't know what it is about chestnuts or rum or sweetness that makes this so manly or makes people think that it is so manly. I don't necessarily think of this as a quintessential man fragrance or a gentlemanly fragrance. Maybe it's that it's quite dark and rich and it's got some rum in it because men drink rum like, you know, pirates, because pirates were definitely all men. I don't know, is it a manly man scent? Let's just go with it, let's roll with it. It's a beautiful scent, it's a sweet, chestnutty, fantastic, cold weather appropriate fragrance, and I think it deserves to be up there in lists, and it is, so there we go. Stronger With You, absolutely, manly man. The next one is from Boss, and I keep saying Boss are killing it right now. They have release after release where they're just bringing out good stuff. Boss Bottled Elixir. I was surprised when I smelled this because I thought, oh, we're gonna get a mainstream version of an Elixir fragrance. It's just gonna smell super designer. It doesn't really. If anything, it does smell perhaps something you would associate more with a niche type smell. It takes a few creative risks. It's got a quality to it that I think is great for a brand like Boss that don't even charge that much for their fragrances. You know, Boss are pretty reasonably priced. It's woody, it's spicy, it's incensey. It is a fantastic fragrance. I really enjoyed this when it was released. You'll notice that I don't have my current bottle because a friend of mine enjoyed it so much that he's currently borrowing this from me. I guess I can see a bit of a masculine streak in this scent. I don't know why, perhaps it does lean a little more masculine, but again, what are the notes in there that make it so masculine? Maybe the spices, maybe the incense. I don't know, it's quite heavy, maybe it's that. Anyway, it's manly. The next manly man scent is definitely a smell that I would associate perhaps more with a masculine type of smell. Acqua di Parma. It's fresh, it's herbal, it's got incense. I think this one is classed as more of a masculine smell because it retains a lot of that original Acqua di DNA, which was released as a man's fragrance and is probably just associated with men. Lovely, lovely stuff. What's interesting though is that the best of all time was Profumo, but the manliest man fragrance is the Parfum. So obviously Fragrantica users think that the newer Parfum is more of a manly man scent than the original Profumo. Who knows what goes through people's minds? No, sorry, it's 2020. Profumo was before 2020. That's why the Parfum is eligible for the votes. Okay, my bad, sorry, I got it. I'm all caught up now. Acqua di Parfum, great scent, only for manly men. Next one is a Tom Ford. This is a beautiful fragrance, Ombre Leather Parfum. Got that stunning ombre leather, that fruity, leathery type of smell, but this one adds some greenness and it's a little drier and a little woodier. Again, I don't think that this is particularly a very masculine smell. Perhaps we associate it with men wearing it because it's a men's marketed fragrance and we smell it on a lot of men, probably a lot more men than women. But if you're a woman, you could get away with wearing this. I think I'd probably quite enjoy smelling this on a woman. When Tom Ford came out with Tuscan leather, they stumbled upon an incredible DNA. The jasmine, the raspberry, the leather, that one was a little more divisive because it was so strong, so potent, and I would say that yes, that probably is quite a manly man's fragrance, but they made it a little more mass appealing. They took the sharper edges off the Tuscan leather DNA and created ombre leather, which was probably a massive seller for Tom Ford. Very popular fragrance. I do smell that quite often. I liked the parfum as a flanker because it kept the character of ombre leather. It was definitely an ombre leather-like smell, but it changed it up. It's a little greener, it's a little drier, it dialed back the sweetness a little bit, and actually it made it more versatile. I could wear this fragrance all year round. Ombre leather, more for autumn, winter, possibly spring as well for me, but this is an all year round wear. The next fragrance I don't have. I'm obviously not manly enough to own this one. This is Louis Vuitton Imagination. There's fresh juicy citrus, there's some neroli, there's spices, ginger, cinnamon, and a little bit of incense. This fragrance obviously gets a lot of hype. I hear it talked about a lot. I did go into a store and smell it because I was so curious. I really enjoyed it. I thought, yeah, I could wear this fragrance. I could own this fragrance. I could smell like a man wearing this fragrance. But then I looked at the price, £255 for a very fresh, easygoing smell. Just a little bit too pricey for me for that sort of smell, so I have not yet purchased it. Maybe I will one day. Anyway, it's a really nice smell. There's something about this that people think is very manly. Do you own this? Do you think it's a very manly scent? Is it even marketed to men? Is it not just a unisex fragrance? There's nothing in the notes or from my memory of smelling it that makes me think particularly manly, but there it is. It's in the mix. We got a fragrance from Hermes here. This is not Terre de Mes, surprisingly, because I think that is more manly than this one. This is Terre de Mes Eau Givrée. Takes that orangey, woody, classic type of smell that we get from Terre de Mes, but makes it frostier and icier. If anything, I think this is less manly. I think because of its frosted, icy character, that takes the edge off that sort of manly, masculine smell from Terre de Mes. You know what? I'm going to give up justifying whether things are manly or not. It's just a fun little category, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. Anyway, Eau Givrée is a stunning scent. If I want to smell clean, fresh, refined, sophisticated, and gentlemanly. Yeah, you know, gentlemanly is something I do associate with the Terre de Mes type of smell, but I think that's different to manly man. Manly man is like, whoa, and gentlemanly is like, here we go, I'm wearing a nice gentlemanly fragrance.
If you love fragrance as much as I do, head over to my online store luxparfum.co.uk. You'll find my favourite brands plus brands you can't find anywhere else in the UK. Link is in the description.
We got a Dior here, and this is not Dior Homme, because people would argue that sweet lipsticky makeup bag Iris is maybe not the most masculine smell, but they changed it. In 2020, they created a new version of Dior Homme, which I think is more for manly men. Yes, we lose the lipsticky Iris, we don't get anything like that. It's a drier fragrance, seems to have a large emphasis on a lovely woody cedar note. I'm gonna be honest with you, when I first smelled this, I was outraged, I tell you, that they were changing the Dior Homme DNA. My beloved metrosexual lipsticky makeup bag type Iris was gone, but then it wasn't gone because it came back as Dior Homme Original. So because Dior didn't completely kill the original, that allowed me to give this one a bit of latitude, and I started wearing it with a slightly different mindset. I was wearing it thinking, can this coexist with the original Dior Homme? And I started to really like this. This is something that I would say is a very masculine smell. I don't know what it is, I guess women could wear this, but I do associate this with smelling pretty masculine. So of all of them so far, I would probably say that Dior Homme 2020 is the one most deserving of a place in the manly men list. Good release from Dior. Don't think it had to be a Dior Homme fragrance. They could have kept Dior Homme Original as it was and released this under a different name. That's not what they decided to do. They decided to just do it in a weird way. Anyway, really good scent and yeah, pretty manly. This one's got whiskey in, so definitely a manly man fragrance from Javon Gentlemen. This is Reserve Privé. We do get a little bit of that lipsticky iris in this, but never to the degree that we get in the Dior Homme line. This manages to maintain its masculinity throughout. The Javon Gentlemen fragrances do seem to build themselves around the iris, but it never goes quite to the place that the Dior Homme type of iris does. Very woody, it's got that dark chestnut note and lovely smooth whiskey. It's not like a really realistic whiskey note, but I guess I can see there's a little bit of booziness. So because it's on the dark side and because it's got whiskey in there, it makes it perfect for a manly man. Or anyone. A woman. A womanly woman. even. Anyone can wear this fragrance. I love it. Fantastic release. Autumn and winter, yes please. I'm all about this. If ever there was a fragrance that was going to be a manly man fragrance, it's one that is called The Male. But this is not any old The Male. This is The Male Le Parfum. Absolutely love this one. We get some of that original La Mal DNA, the mint and the lavender, but it softens those, dials up the vanilla and adds in some iris. I wouldn't call the original La Mal a manly man scent. I think we associate it with masculinity because of the bottle design and because it came out as a fragrance marketed to men. But if we just strip all that away and we just smell it, I don't think it smells particularly masculine, or not in the traditional sense anyway, maybe a very sort of modern masculine type of smell, or modern for when it was released in the 90s. But because this is a bit thicker, a bit richer, I would say this is more of a manly man fragrance than the original. So original La Mal, not that manly, but new La Mal, I think, yeah, more manly. Great smell, quite manly, it's on the list. Finally, we're finishing with a fragrance that I think is definitely a manly man's scent. Probably the most manly man scent on this video because it's the strongest scent in this video and only manly men wear strong fragrances. This is one of the strongest fragrances I own and I love it. It's Sauvage Elixir. Totally agree with the manliness of this fragrance because it's got a bit of a classic cologne type smell in the background. Maybe it's the amped up lavender that does that. Pair that with some of that traditional Sauvage type smell, which of course we associate with a manly smell as well. So compare those two manly man elements and what we get is quite a manly man, masculine manly fragrance. What also adds to the manliness of this fragrance is the spices. It's got like a robust, slightly rough spiciness. If you're not careful, this can be a little bit obnoxious. If you spray more than 2 or 3 sprays of this, you're going to fill the room, you're going to invade people's nostrils when they don't want their nostrils invading necessarily, and you might piss people off a little bit. There are some lady YouTubers online that proclaim how much they hate this fragrance. And you know what? If that's what they think, that's fair enough. They are entitled to their wrong opinion. I'm just wondering if maybe the people who don't like this fragrance have been around people wearing it that have sprayed too much, because you need to spray less of this than most other fragrances, and if you've sprayed too much, you're getting too much lavender, too much of the manly masculineness, and a fragrance can smell too manly. And if you've got a very manly fragrance that is exceptionally beast mode strong, then I can see why some people might not like it, but I do. I love this. It's strong, it's impactful, it's a showstopper. I think it's very masculine. I think this is well deserving of its place as #1 manly man fragrance. So there we go. If you're a man and you're a whiskey drinking, rum drinking, chestnut gobbling iris lover, then these are the fragrances for you. Do you think these are the manliest man scents? And let me know what you think constitutes a manly man scent. Drop that down in the comments. Let's have a little conversation about what makes a manly man. That's it. If you like the video, give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and if you do all that, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.